I am Vasimalai, Executive Director of DHAN Foundation. I would like to share my path, the journey which I took in the last 20-30 years in the field of development. When I was in IIM Ahmedabad, I went through a very interesting self-reflection process where I was just questioning myself. Who am I? What are my strengths and weaknesses, and how I would be useful for the society? I think that's a critical question which came to me, and I went through a rigorous process of exploring myself. At the end of that exploration, it came out clearly that I would be more relevant to work with the rural sector as well as with the poor people. Why? Because the way I have been really brought up and the way I got educated and the kind of strength which really compelled me to make a choice to work with the community. So once I took a decision, I didn't go for a placement, because I thought my contribution will be vividly expressed in the field of development sector. I had an opportunity to join Gandhian institution, where I got a real learning there. Primarily, how do we work with people rather than work for the people? If the people themselves take a decision, then they can manage themselves. If the outsider take a decision, then always they will come for a further conflict resolution, and the dependence on the outsider will be different and always high also. Negotiation with the community, when you work with a poor community, it's very, very important. So it looks like this negotiation is a management jargon, but this is really relevant for the community to take stock of their own ownership and take it forward. So likewise, a series of lessons I really gone through, visioning with them, and also how to really make them to contribute for their own equity and ownership. The savings is their equity. Similarly, whenever you want to have a water resources work like this, you need to really get a people ownership by contributing at least 25% of the money. So this is a very creative process, and it really involves community ownership. That's critical building block here. So once I really came there, the kind of environment was not much of professional is really going into this field. So we set, a group of us said that let us set up an institution called Pradhan, then it's really branched out to DHAN now, where professionalizing NGO is an important factor, by which you bring a professional so that they can contribute very rigorously for the model building as well as scaling up in future. So that really triggered in 80s to create an environment in the organization to support professionalization. Second, create a kind of conducive policies on the salary so that people can also come to the sector. I think that was a greater kind of conceptually as well as operationally. We did a group of us did excellent work on that. Problems are so many in the development areas, and it gives a greater scope for innovating. This is one of the nursery for innovation in development work. We came out with a very interesting thing, build professional to build people. That's a kind of visioning we did it in 90s together, so that you can bring a stream of professionals who can change the lives of millions of poor in the rural, urban, coastal, even tribal areas by working with them and showing a model of people to come out of poverty. A kind of model which we really came out is community governance and professional development. When there is a community governance and professional, when they both together, a person coming out of management school or a technical school, they can change the whole life of 3,000 to 4,000 people life in 3 to 5 years time. I think that creates a confidence level in the professional that they can do many things, and after that they become a mentor for the another new stream of people to come over there. I think this kind of working, creating professional to make people out of poverty was one of our greater contribution that there. Nothing is quick fix here. So you need to really work at least 8 to 10 years to see the sustainable result. Quick results, you can do it in 2-3 years, but we never know it's really sustainable. So always the development initiative requires at least a decade of engagement, which makes people to really self-confident and take it forward in that. And currently, we as an institution have grown from strength to strength. It's not an individual effort. It is not only a single institutional effort, it's a collaborative effort and collective effort of DHANites as well as the community and also the banker and the mainstream institution, because these three things come together to make a greater impact and for scaling up. So when you look at the kind of success of this DHAN for last 17 years, one primary factor is our clarity of the principle and philosophy is a founding stone for our success. Mainly the kind of Gandhian approach is very critical, and bringing professional to really work in the grassroots is one of our contributing factor. And not only that, we also really enable the community for their self-management. That's a core of our contribution. Thirdly, the collaboration is a mainstay because island, you can't create an island of prosperity. So you need to really go for a long-term working with many people. Fourthly, it should be thematic. We can't really do many things at a single point in time. Through that, people will get confused. So take one theme of development where people can get capacity to really absorb, and then they can diversify into other themes. So we are thematic, and primarily to start with the livelihood programs. These are the founding principles which really made us really to go in a larger framework. Our core values are really a rock, our foundation rock to really do that. Any DHANite has to express these 6 core values in their walks of life. Primarily, the grassroots action. Action precedes everything for us. So we need to not just a planner or a talker. So let us really do it. Like what Gandhiji says, be the change you want to see in this world. So you start from you, the action, so that it really brings a lot more changes in your development field. Secondly, we say that it's an enabling. Don't disable people by doing yourself. So you enable them to do it themselves. I think that a lot of activities are available for them to really go through this process. So enabling is a critical role. Then we collaborate with, as I said earlier, the collaboration is our core value. Fourthly, whatever you do it in an excellent way. So I think the best. So that you can really always challenge yourself, challenge the next benchmarking, all those standards. That's another value which really cherish. Innovation is part of our kind of DNA of DHAN. So always, whatever the established program or new program, we keep innovating new small elements. Here I would like to say that small things are very important for perfection. But perfection is not the small thing. I think many times we think that it's too small to really attend to it. Always we really get into generalities. Generalities is not going to lead us to. So I think the devil is in the detail. So the small things made into perfection is very important for practical action. But that perfection is not a small thing. So many people have to orchestra, harmonize a lot of work together in that. The other core value of self-regulation is to really not to really depend upon outsider. So you regulate yourself. These are the values as well as principle. So founding principle for our success. So other factors of success is basically working with other institutions, learning from others. It's not that we learn everything from I. So going around, and not only in the Indian, global level also, we are also becoming a leading capacity builder not only in India for outsider, in enabling in the community banking as well as water program. So we have a series of programs which really provides scope for professionals to innovate and really contribute for that. The success depends upon the attitude. If there is the right kind of attitude for this work, then all the skill and knowledge will come automatically. I think this needs a kind of attitude, and also the clarity of purpose in life should be very clear, so that you identify with the community first, or community is a God. Like in corporate sector we say that community is the consumer is the God. Here also the same factor of the poor community is the for first, and the more you really get tuned to it, passionate about it, and many other things follows that. I think the attitude plays a critical role here. Now we are now reaching out to almost 14 states with 1.3 million, and we really reach 2 million or 3 million families. Probably we reach a 10 million population in 2 to 3 years' time. We are really going to focus more on self-growth. So one institution of people institution to promote another institution, or within the same institution you saturate more groups, joins with the leaders and other things with the cost-effective methodologies. That's we find it's a very important way forward for us. Plus, community financing is going to be the new form of things in the future. Like once the community is self-sustainable, they want to repay their gratitude by promoting another one. And not only that, and they want to diversify into education or health by their own fund and collaborating with the local government system. Great space is available, and the professionals from IIM, IITs, or from engineering or medical or veterinarian or agriculture, all people have a lot of space here to really they can really explore as well as flower in this whole atmosphere, where our calling is for people like you should really explore this as an alternative contribution, and it has a self-fulfilling as well as you make many people's life different. I'm not saying that only this is, wherever you are there, you are in a corporate sector there, now CSR provides another arm also. Please put our energy and also part of your energy as volunteer to really in the shaping the mankind, and poverty is has to go out of our country.